A farm boy hunting and fishing to bowling on the ATP Tour, our guest today decided to return to the University of Arizona after winning his first challenger title in Cleveland back in January. With his ranking at about 260 in the world, he is knocking on the door of the Grand Slam qualifying. Colton Smith, welcome to The Changeover. All right, Colton, thanks for joining us, taking the time out of your, I'm sure, busy schedule right now. And congrats on your success recently. So you won your first challenger title in Cleveland to start the year, first tournament of the year for you. It was your second challenger final. How did the experience of making the final in Sioux Falls kind of help you in this second go round to start the year?
Yeah. I mean, I think just being able to be in that position again. I mean, having played Born Gojo in the finals of Sioux Falls was definitely kind of a bit of a culture shock in a little bit of ways, like on the tennis court, I'd say.
Okay.
And just kind of being able to see a different level. I mean, I would say he's probably playing like a top 75, top 50 player, if I've seen it. And so, yeah, I was a little shell shocked there in my first final. But yeah, being able to kind of be back in that position again in Cleveland, and also kind of having gotten through some really top guys in that, just kind of gave me a lot more confidence, and I was a little more comfortable in that final than Sioux Falls, and I think that gave me the confidence to really continue to go for my shots and keep trusting the game.
What would you say separated him from the other players that you played in those events, Borna?
I would say the serve was the big thing, and just kind of how steady he was mentally throughout that whole match. It felt like he had been there before, and it definitely felt like I hadn't. And so he had that confidence and kind of that swagger about him. That was kind of something that I was wanting to eventually gain, kind of from watching him and being able to be on the other side of the court.
I want to talk about the final with Spizziri a bit. I want to start here. So you won the first set.
Yeah.
And things are going pretty well. And then you lose the second set in the tiebreak.
Yeah.
How do you kind of regroup and come back and kind of play such a clean third set after being so close to the title, and then all of a sudden it's so far again? Like, how do you kind of reset your mind and get back into the match?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of one where, I mean, it was the end of the week and stuff. And so kind of right around 4-1 in that first set, the body started to feel it a little bit. And I think kind of the mental toll had started to set in a bit. But, yeah, I mean, losing the second set, I wasn't too worried or anything like that. It was just kind of one of those things where all week I'd been in some really tight positions and with some tight tiebreakers and some being down in some games. And so really the big thing I took from that was just not panicking when things kind of started to slip away, and being able to just stay real steady and kind of take care of the things that I could take care of. There were a few games there too where I got down in my service games, and it was kind of one of those deals where historically I've noticed that I could kind of panic a little bit or try to swing my way out of it instead of just really just staying calm and kind of staying the course of action. And so, yeah, to be able to kind of get that third set and stuff was really a big relief to get the first final. But also just kind of, I felt pretty proud of the way that I kind of held myself together all week.
I watched you serve the match out, right? Because I didn't watch the whole match, but I kind of went in and out. So I'm watching you serve the match out, and I see you go down either love 15 or 15-30. Like, I see Eliot kind of like locking, he's like making a lot of balls.
Yeah.
And it might have been 15-30. And you go serve wide, he returns pretty strong deep cross, and you go backhand line winner. I said, This man is confident. Like, I don't know. like I know the forehand is big and the serve is big, but to go for the backhand line there, hit it clean, like what was going through your mind? Like, what are you thinking about in those tough moments? What are your cues for yourself when you go into those big points?
Yeah, I mean, and that situation is a little bit like, just fuck it. I mean, yeah,
that's
like,
how it looked a little bit.
No, I was like, well, I mean, this can either go really good or really bad, and so I've kind of,
thank God.
Yeah, I think kind of throughout the whole week, kind of in those moments and stuff, kind of the more that I went for it, the more confidence I'd kind of gained in myself going for it in those tight situations. And it was one of those ones too where like I definitely felt the pressure of having to serve it out, and I know he knew that too. Of like that's kind of one of the hardest games to hold, and so it was yeah, really just trying to lock it in mentally, but also I mean I didn't really want the long points either, so
Yeah.
it was like if I got to look at anything, like I was gonna pull the trigger and just
Uh-huh.
try to be as confident as possible in it. And yeah, I felt like I mean we kind of talked about it after the match too, him and I, of like if I wasn't gonna get that game, then it was gonna be a
Yeah.
tough one to kind of try to regroup from. And there were a few shots that I hit in there where it was like, all right, I've got to win this next point now. We got to finish it here, otherwise,
Uh-huh.
kind of I think too the match point that I ended up winning. Kind of the point before that, we talked about it too, and he thought that if I didn't get it there, then he was going to break, and so
Mhm.
it was definitely one of those ones where I needed to kind of make it happen sooner than later in that game.
For sure.
Can we go back a little bit also to, you said you played a lot of, got yourself out of trouble a lot of times and played a lot of tie breaks and get yourself out of trouble in the tie breaks too. Is there
Mhm.
anything specific that you think about to stay calm and to back yourself in those moments? Like what goes through your mind in those moments?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was I was really confident in my serving abilities throughout the whole week. And so kind of playing Carousel, I think that was maybe the first tiebreaker I'd played of the tournament. And yeah, it was kind of one of those deals where at 4-3, something just kind of clicked. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel like I was going to lose any points on my serve. I think I probably maybe lost 2 or 3 the rest of the match. And so it was just kind of, it was one of those days where it was like, all right, like, I can kind of do whatever I want with the serve here. And so
Mhm.
getting into the tiebreaker is like, all right, I just need one look at a return or something. Just try to get that mini break
It
and
frees
then
you
just
up,
go up
right?
and, yeah, exactly. And then just go take care of the return. And then that freed me up a ton in the second as well to really continue to kind of go after it a little bit more. And then when I played JJ, it was kind of the same deal of like, I know how good he is, and kind of he's got that aura around him a little bit of having been inside the top 50. And so you feel that stepping out on court. But yeah, it was kind of same deal where it was like, all right, if I take care of my serve and just kind of try to get my looks at the returns. And I remember the first set point I had at 6-5, and God, I felt like I played a beautiful point and stepped up and took a forehand right into the net tape. And it's kind of one of those deals where it's like, well, if I lose this set, I'm not too disappointed. At least I
Mhm.
lost it going for it. But yeah, it was super nice to be able to kind of get that first set and get that tiebreaker, having had a little opportunity and a look at something, but really just kind of staying the course with the serve and kind of controlling the controllables a little bit.
Okay.
Has the serve always been a weapon for you, or something you developed over the recent months?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been something that I've been developing over the last couple of years. Starting to get more free points, starting to kind of really mix it up a lot. My coach, Jody Rush, he always talks about like you're trying to be a pitcher out there, not just a thrower. And so trying to keep mixing it up and looking for different patterns and trying to stay unpredictable with it has kind of really been something I've been focusing a lot, but also just gaining a lot of confidence and being able to hit the spots when I need to.
And how different did you find, because you said you were feeling it physically in the final of Cleveland, but I mean, I guess it's your first run or your first win in a challenger, but you've had runs deep in tournaments before. Like last summer, you had like several futures back to back where you're going like qualies final in LA and then
Mhm.
qualies final in Dallas, and then you were straight into Champaign. You won the 25 there, playing
Mhm.
qualies in Lincoln again. So it's not like it's your first time playing like that many matches back to back. So did you feel similar way, like physically later in the week last year, or was Cleveland a little bit different?
I would say it was a little bit different, just kind of a bigger stage. I think like the futures, I'd played a few of those, and so I was fairly comfortable, kind of on that stage and kind of playing some of those players. But yeah, to be able to kind of play some big names like Ethan Quinn and kind of Carousel, I know he's been doing really well, and he's like a very high IQ player.
Okay.
And then to be able to kind of get through JJ Wolf as well, and Dostanic, kind of all those guys that you see having these runs in these tournaments and different things like that. I think mentally more than anything, it was kind of a little more draining to really stay locked in and try not to get too far ahead of myself and really try not to feel the moment too much, but also trying to take everything in.
A little bit more like the mental stuff too is a little bit more draining than it was before in the futures when you've been in that position before.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's something that's kind of is going to be the thing that takes me to the next level, as well as being able to kind of manage that week after week. I think right now I got maybe 2 weeks in me tops, and then kind of by that third week I start noticing there's a drop, and so
That's what
I
happens when you
think
play that many matches. If you're going first, second
yeah.
round, you can manage more weeks, you know?
Yeah. Hopefully I start getting to bigger stages so I could make a run in 1 or 2 weeks and take a couple weeks off and not have to worry about money or points.
Okay.
But it's a funny thing. People talk about how hard it can be mentally when you're losing, but it's actually there's also mental challenges when you're winning a lot, because you have to keep resetting and keep doing it again and again and again. You have a big win, but it doesn't really get to feel like that because you have to reset and you have to go again tomorrow, and you kind of have to start from zero again. Like, what do you do? Let's say you beat JJ and then you gotta go play Eliot the next day. Like, how do you kind of maybe enjoy that win for a little bit and then get ready for the next challenge ahead? How are you resetting?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of tough because I got to do homework on those weeks too. So it's like, you play the match and you take it in, you get nice dinner, but then you got homework and you got some assignments due. And so I think that'll be kind of something I figure out in the summer when I don't have kind of those things put in place. I think, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a blessing in disguise right now. I don't have too much time to really, dwell on those or think about those wins too much.
For sure. So we have a segment on this podcast called Over Under. So I'm gonna give you some topics. Tell me if they're over underrated.
Okay.
I know you had the off season with Ethan, Quinn, and JJ. I know you spent some time with Tommy Paul as well. But at the same time, when you're at school, you're the top dog. You're the number one guy on the team. So practicing with players that are quote unquote better than you, is that over or underrated? Day in and day out.
Well, I mean, I don't know how that is rated, but I would have to say it's definitely underrated. I mean, I think being able to train with guys that push you and stuff and are better than you always kind of gives you something to be looking forward to and kind of goals to be striving towards. So I think that's kind of one of the biggest things right now is trying to find those guys that can continue to push you and kind of show you different levels so that you know what to expect at those bigger tournaments.
Is there anything that you can think of, I guess, off the top of your head that you would have learned from those guys? Like anything in particular in the off season? Like, did you see anything that someone was doing and you thought you can implement that or whatever? Do you have anything like that or not really?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I got from that whole week was the movement piece, spending a lot of time off the court. I think just the off-court training in general that they're all doing down there was insane. And you're hitting once or twice a day for a couple hours, and then you got 1 to 2 different fitness sessions a day, a lot of movement variables. You're doing a lot of fitness. And so those are kind of some of the biggest things that I took from that. On court, I would say just the guys, they got a very clear plan of what they're trying to do day after day. I think maybe kind of some of the lower levels, you see guys that are a little all over the place that aren't really sure. They got a lot of things that they're trying to work out versus these guys, they've got like a couple things that they're really trying to push for and really, really kind of iron out.
So on the way to the title in Cleveland, you beat, I think, both Quinn and JJ. How important was it, or how much did that experience training with them help you in those moments to help you believe a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think, I've trained with Ethan quite a bit in the past, and I've played him a lot in juniors. I mean, that doesn't really mean anything now, but I mean, he's one of my good friends, and so it's kind of one of those deals where you see him having a lot of success and all these things, but it's also like you want to beat him. And so I think just being able to kind of bounce back after that first set and just kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit, reset mentally, and go out and try to play my game. And then I think the biggest thing with JJ was I got to kind of practice with him throughout that week and warm up for matches. And so I was able to see the ball that he was hitting because it's different than a lot of guys. And so felt like I was more ready for that. And then it kind of came down to just like, all right, I'm going to go take care of what I can take care of, and we'll see how it goes.
Do you stress ball quality over accuracy, or are you more interested in how accurate you're playing?
I would say it's kind of both. I don't think about it a ton. But it's definitely one of those things where I'm trying to hit my spots, especially on serve. I would say if I'm hitting my spots and I'm confident where I'm hitting my spots, then the quality of it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, I mean, it's also one of those things too where you could be hitting some super high quality balls, but you're not necessarily playing super smart, and maybe that's right into the guy's wheelhouse. Maybe they're just a super clean ball striker, and they feed on that. And so I think kind of the accuracy of being able to mix it up when you need to and be able to kind of hit the short spots or the high loopy balls when you need to is kind of probably more important.
For sure.
Bro, you know what I think about actually? Like when we're hitting a shot, right? How small of a target are we actually trying to hit? Like, do you guys know? Like when you hit a shot, like are you trying to get it like right to a specific like spot like this big, or is it just like
depends
how
on the
big
ball.
is your box? You know,
like if it's a forehand on the outside, I feel like I make that box pretty small. Like I kind of know where I'm putting the ball if I'm going inside out, inside in. But if it's like my backhand and I'm rallying across, it's not like I don't feel as, I'd say, like I have a mastery over that shot as much. So I'm not aiming to like the smallest little part of the court. I'm trying to put like into an area. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think about that stuff too much. It's more of like, I don't know, it's more of like kind of a visualization and a feeling for me of like I'm not necessarily thinking about I'm trying to get it 3 feet from the baseline and a foot from the alley or anything like that. It's more of like, all right, I'm trying to put it in this spot, and it's more of just like just trying to kind of see it beforehand and then just trusting it's going to go where it's going to go.
I feel like I see it a little bit clearer with the forehand though than I do with the backhand. The visualization comes a little bit cleaner. Yeah.
My box on the backhand suddenly becomes really big. It's a big box. You know, it's a lot.
The blue, hit it in the blue.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just that's why I switch to doubles. It's more blue. You know.
So
for sure,
you and Jody actually share one passion, believe it or not, and that would be. We were in Michigan State at the end of last year, and he had a day off, or he had just finished maybe winning the semifinals of doubles. And there's a Bass Pro Shops, like, I don't know, 20 minutes from the housing. And Jody goes and they, with Ian, the housing, the son of the housing, and they bought rods, line, and some bait. And they went fishing.
Were you successful?
Yeah, we were. Well, Ian was, but yeah, we were.
Yeah.
It was good.
So I wanted to ask, fishing / spending time in nature, is that over or underrated?
It's so underrated. I need to be doing that. That's that's one of the biggest parts of kind of being able to keep a good balance for me is being able to get out and distance myself a little bit from the matches and the tournaments, and just kind of reconnect with that piece of kind of feels like I'm back home a little bit too, or it's just fun to explore new areas and just get in touch with that self again.
You find that easy to do when you're at tournaments?
It definitely depends where it's at. But it's pretty easy to travel with my stuff, and I mean if there's water around, then there's a chance there's fish in there, and so we'll go find some fishing stores.
Bro, Codson had his rod with him. I'm pretty sure it was Michigan State at that tournament. Codson had his rod with him too.
Yep, I've talked to him about fly fishing a bunch and stuff, and so we've got to put together a trip or something sometime.
Yeah, I'm not the expert. Don't let Justin fool you. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos and I've fished in the past, but like I'm not the expert.
And for you, is it like the equivalent of for Jody? Like he likes to play video games. Is it just like getting out there and just having some fun, or is it really just like clearing your mind and being in nature that's important to you? Like what is it like for you that experience? Yeah,
no, it's definitely clearing my mind and kind of getting out there. And I mean, I don't care if I catch anything or not, as long as I'm out there by a piece of water or something, or doing something out in nature, then I'm pretty happy with that. So it's not really, I mean, it is fun too. If there's other things to do around there, then I'll I'll do that too. But yeah, that's something that it's fun too to kind of try to check off as many boxes as possible too. Of like, all right, like these are all the fish or the states that I've fished in, and so that's kind of a fun goal of mine too.
Is it just fishing, or do you do hunting and stuff too?
I do a lot of hunting.
Really?
Yeah, so that was kind of.
I don't know if I can handle hunting, bro. Like,
But
I've seen videos. And
he posted something today on his story. Like he had an interview with someone else, and he mentioned that he also does archery.
Yep.
This man, he's a real man, you know. Like this is like a Joe Rogan type of guy, bro. Like
the idea of using like the archery, like the bow and arrows and all this stuff is sick to me. But like I don't know if I can handle like killing a deer or something, bro. Like that's,
yeah.
I mean, you eat steak all the time, bro.
It's tough.
Yeah, I know, but it's already in a little package. It doesn't look like a cow.
It's not a real animal if you just go to the grocery store.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a disconnection there for sure.
But I don't know what it is. Like if I watch fishing videos or I go fishing and stuff, I can handle that, you know. But then if it's on land, and I don't know, bro.
Have you eaten stuff that you've caught? Like what's the coolest thing you've hunted and then eaten after?
So when I was 16, I shot a bear at our place, and so we ate that. Oh yeah, and my sister she shot one last summer.
This man is a fucking beast, huh?
Yeah, bear, deer, elk, antelope. Yeah, everything we hunt, we eat.
It's a real man, bro.
But it's a lot to meat, actually. Does it? I'm guessing it saves meat. If you hunt something like that, you can
put it in the freezer
for a long time. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no, it's super nice. Back home, we got a little ranch too, and so we raise all of our own beef cows, and my sister raised a couple pigs too. So all of our pork and beef comes from the ranch. So we hardly ever buy any sort of meat other than like chicken from the store. But we get our own eggs and everything, and so yeah, and then we get all the deer and elk from what we harvest, and so yeah, it's pretty nice. You know where your meat comes from, and yeah, it's a lot cleaner way to do it, I feel.
So you grew up on the farm for real, like you're like a farm.
My grandparents owned the farm, and I was doing the same thing with pigs and stuff. Like when I was a little boy, I was on the farm, and they used to do the same thing with pigs, and I think we had sheep and stuff, but I don't know if we would. I think it was more buying and selling sheep, but the pigs, they would go to the slaughterhouse and all this stuff. So like it was. I don't know. It was easier for me when I was that age, but the older I got, is like, I don't know if I can handle it anymore.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's a tough deal to kind of kill an animal and stuff, but it's something that's kind of I don't know. I feel some sort of like connection to nature when I'm doing it, and I'm kind of in control of that.
I've seen that with the guys that I see on YouTube. It's like very respectful, you know.
Yeah, of course.
It's like I see them, they shoot a deer, and they're like, let's let the deer have their moment, you know, like they don't go over It's like respect for these guys, you know.
Right. Yeah, and for a lot of those animals too, it's kind of the best death that they could have too is kind of coming from a human, because I mean, like you think about elk and deer and all that stuff, like they don't really die of old age. They're going to die of starvation or something's going to eat them, and they're not as remorseful about it as we are.
Okay. So you're helping them out. That's what you're doing.
A little bit, yeah. But I'm also, surviving myself, getting my own food. So yeah.
So you still rock like the country boy swag, like you rock camo and like boots and.
Bro, the man walked into Sioux Falls fucking Challenger indoor course. He had on boots, bro.
I just came from fishing, so.
You know Nate Ponwith?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
He likes to rock some workman boots too, like some. He kind of dabbles in the fashion. Do you approve of his style or no? You haven't seen him?
I haven't seen it at tournaments. No.
Jody's
no, but I mean, if he's wearing some good boots,
but Colton's own is worse. Colton's own is the man is Nate will wear
it's worse. It's worse or it's better.
Oh, okay.
No. Nate will wear like hiking boots. It looks like this man is wearing full out, like it like goes up to the shins, bro.
I got my genres. I got my genres mixed up. That's my bad. I apologize.
That's all good.
So, bro, I saw a picture of you guys at the Cavs game when you were in Cleveland.
Oh, yep.
Like Cannon is wearing I want to say he's wearing like running shoes and sweats or jeans or something, and then JJ and him are wearing like proper like the full wear, you know.
Yeah. You didn't see he had a pretty cool jean jacket too. I got to get one of those one day, but. Yeah, we had the hats and everything and the boots, so it was fun. We had a good time hanging out there.
Another big nature and fishing guy, Tommy Paul, gave you some high praises this offseason. He said that you were an absolute beast. That's his quote in the gym and on the track. What was it like doing fitness and stuff with a top 10 player? Like, these guys, they're playing 3 out of 5 sets and they're all over the world and they play these grueling matches and they seem to recover so well and they seem to be moving like obviously better than everybody else. So like, how tough were those fitness sessions? And is it that he's working so much harder than you already were at college, or is it that they work smarter? Like, what did you take from those sessions?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I don't know what their training sessions look like while they're kind of in season, when they're traveling, training a bunch or playing a bunch. But definitely kind of they're talking about the off season and how that's kind of their time to be doing a lot more strength and kind of cardio, because you're just not really playing quite as much. And so it was incredibly motivating to be with him. And it's kind of one of those things where you want to beat him as many things as you can. And so it's kind of I've always felt like I was a pretty good runner. And so it was one of those deals where it's like, all right, like I got nothing going on the rest of the day, so I'm just going to leave it all out here and kind of see where I size up against him. And then, like some of the assault bike workouts that I did with the other guys, they were just absolutely horrendous. But afterwards, you're like, wow, like, I'm glad I don't have to do that again this week.
Toughest.
But yeah.
What was the worst track workout and the worst assault bike workout? Like, what did it look like?
Yeah, well, I took a few days off. Yeah, it is with Franco.
Okay.
So I took a couple days off before going there. And so, I mean, the first one was just kind of some tempo runs, but that was the first day. And so the lungs were not quite there. And so that one was super brutal. But I would say like the worst assault bike workout we did was where you go 10 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 12 rounds. And then you get like a minute and a half, or you get a couple minute rest. And then you go 15 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 10. And then you go 20 seconds on, 20 seconds off for 8. And then you work all the way back down again. And so kind of the first one, you're like, all right, this isn't too bad. And then the second one, you're like, all right, I'm starting to feel it now. And then, but you just get ready, you're like, oh my God, I got 20-20 here. And then you got to go all the way back down. And so that was definitely a brutal one. And then the last day was a brutal track workout too. I think we ran I think it was 5 400s and then 10 200s.
Oh my God.
Bro, I hate 400s. I hate. Bro, 400s hurt so bad, bro.
I think I hated the 200s worse. I don't know if it was just because it was right after the 400s, or if it was just kind of one of those deals where you got so many of them. And so the 400, you can almost pace it a little bit. But the 200 is just a full-on sprint.
I don't know if it's because I'm taller. Like, I think I just get into like a decent tempo and then it's okay. But then if I go to shorter ones, like I feel like I have to run like faster. You have to like press a little bit more. Then I get
better sprint than the longer run. That's just probably personality driven. But I hate 400. So
I've always kind of liked the longer distance stuff because I wasn't ever a great sprinter, but it was more just kind of willpower for me of like, all right, I'm just going to try to compete now.
Yeah. So it sounds like you go pretty hard in the gym. So are you as diligent with the recovery piece? Like, what do your recoveries look like every day? What are you working on to kind of stay heavy?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of resources here. And so we got the hot tubs, cold tubs. I usually stay out of the cold tubs right after a workout.
Okay.
But the hot tubs are definitely nice. And we got some different shorts and different things that you kind of put on for the recovery. And then it's definitely some stretching throughout. I got to be a lot better with that for sure. But I feel like I've been pretty good as far as staying pretty injury free, knock on wood. But so I think right now we're doing all right, but we could do a lot better.
I'm stringing up my racket using my Pro Stringer. I've had this machine for 4 or 5 years now. The Pro Stringer is a portable stringing machine. It's very durable. It's accurate. I never have any issues with the tension being incorrect and stuff. It's easy for me to know what to expect from the racket. And we at the Changeover actually have a partnership with Pro Stringer. So if you'd like to go and purchase one, you can go to the website and you get to save $100 off a brand new Pro Stringer when you use our discount code CHANGEOVER in the checkout. So if you're interested in a portable stringing device, I highly recommend this machine. Saves a lot of money in stringing fees. And like I said, I take it everywhere I go and string all of my rackets on this machine. For the viewers out there, when you said that you stay out of the cold tubs after a workout, can you explain why?
Well, for me, it's kind of, I don't mind being sore, especially kind of during the week if I don't got a match or something in the next day or two. And it's kind of, I heard some stuff too. I don't know if it's true. I mean, there's always new information out there, but kind of the cold tubs right after, I guess, kind of keep the inflammation down. And so, I don't know, I guess you don't get as many gains from the workout. You also don't get sore. And so I feel like that's kind of, and I don't like the cold tub much, so it's kind of another reason not to get in there.
Easy
But I
way to not
definitely,
get in there.
400s and cold tubs. I can't. No.
yeah, something I'll do in the mornings or something to kind of wake up or try to kind of get the juices flowing a little bit. I only did it this morning. I haven't done it at all for the last like 3 months, but I'd like to say I do it. So
I've seen those studies too that say the same thing that you just said about like not going in the cold tub after a workout. So like last preseason when I was using the gym, I would go in the cold tub on days like that I don't really have the fitness like that's that strong. You know, like if I have a lift today, I wouldn't do it. But if I have something light, like a recovery day or something, I would go in and do like the cold tub, hot tub, cold tub kind of thing. But I wouldn't choose to do it like right after a workout for that exact reason. So
and I've heard kind of some studies too about kind of talking about cold tubbing before you do a workout and how if like you cold tub and then warm up and then go into the workout, you can increase gains by some percentage, different things like that. And back home we have a sauna too, so I would kind of do my workout and then go sit in the sauna for 20 to 25 minutes and try to kind of keep those keep the heart rate up and
sauna's so
different
hard
things
for
like
me.
that.
Like we were in France and Chidek was like going in the sauna. I went to a spa one day and stuff, going to sauna, but I can't last in there. Like it's impossible.
Really?
Yeah, I can't deal with it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't mind the heat so much as just the sweat on my face. I hate that part.
Okay.
So let's move
like
to the
hard
next
to
one.
breathe.
Yeah.
It is hard to breathe in the sauna for sure. So you say you don't mind being sore, so that's obviously like training in not ideal conditions, like body not feeling great. I was watching a little IG reel of you on your Instagram, and you were talking about you like to train a little bit dehydrated sometimes.
Oh no, I don't like to do that. No, I was just mic'd up. Yeah, no, I was just talking to talk. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I was joking about that part.
That's hilarious. So you just completely lied.
Yeah, no, our nutritionist and our athletic trainer were there too, so I was just having a conversation with them. Yeah, I was joking around.
So the next one I have for you is one that shocked me from that same video. You were talking to a teammate, I assume, and you asked him about lotion, and he said he doesn't use lotion. And in my experience, the white boys don't really favor lotion too tough. So lotion over underrated.
I hate lotion, and that was an inside joke there.
Okay.
That was related to something else.
This is why you can't pay attention to social media, Justin. All right, people lie on social media.
Yeah, they put a lot of clips in that mic'd up that I did not think they were going to, and so
I think I know where we're talking about now.
Yep.
But this is a G-rated podcast, so we're gonna fast forward here a little bit.
I don't ever put lotion on.
All right. Talk to me about the pre-match music. I'm assuming as a country boy, as a farm boy, you're into the country music.
Oh yeah, big time.
Is there anything else that gets in the playlist besides country?
Yeah, I mean it changes week from week. Kind of what song I'll listen to right before walking out onto the court. Blue Notes by Meek Mill has been one of the latest ones. Sorry for the wait.
Yo,
that's a big song, by the way.
Wait. I'm thinking that this man listening to like, I don't even know the country artist. Give me a country artist, whatever, and he just throw up.
That's been one, yeah.
And he throws out Meek Mill, Blue Notes.
Yeah, like, no, there's only like 2 songs ever, but it's like the walkout song of like last minute where it's like, all right, we're gonna get real fired up right here. But most of the time, like the first, like 20 minutes beforehand, it's kind of some real chill country music. Just kind of, I mean, that gets me real fired up too, though, of like some Johnny Cash and different things like that. So,
give me like 3 songs I should listen to. Like as a person who doesn't listen to country at all, like where should I start? Like what's 3?
Yeah. Well, I like they're pretty country, but like the Ballad of Boot Hill by Johnny Cash right now has been one that usually gets me pretty fired up. Hard Living by Chris Stapleton. That's another one that I'll play before the matches.
You better be taking notes. You better be writing these ones down. we have it recorded. Don't worry, we have it recorded.
Tim Stapleton.
Hard Living by Chris Stapleton, and then I would say Sleeping on the Blacktop by Colter Wall. Those are kind of 3 of the songs that are pretty reliable that I can use to definitely get me in the right space.
Okay, because rest in peace, Trevor Mowat was like a mental coach. He wrote this book, It Takes What It Takes, and he spoke about our diet not only being what we eat and stuff, but also what we consume. Let's say music, videos, all these things. And I guess it's personal, but for him, he felt like he couldn't listen to country music because a lot of the country music was like sad love songs. Like it was like heartbreak and these kind of things. You don't find that?
Wasn't he influencing Russell Wilson to do the same thing, like not listening?
I heard that. I think I heard that about somebody, but I mean, there's also country music about trucks. Like it's not all sad.
That's why I love my truck.
Exactly. Okay. And like whiskey and beer, so it's always I mean, there's lots of sad songs out there and stuff, and now I'll listen to some of those too, but. Kind of whatever gets me going is what gets me going. I don't ever feel depressed or anything. That's not what I'm going for. So.
I don't ever, maybe it's my personality because maybe there are people that do, but I don't ever listen to a song and like, wow, that makes me feel sad or that makes me feel, like, it's like I feel this way, so this is the kind of music I want to listen to. Not I listen to this song and I get this way,
Yeah, there's only there's a couple of those songs, but there's one that I can't listen to unless I need like a good cry or something, or I'm ready to get sad. Yeah,
vulnerability. That's good, man. That's good. But sometimes it just sounds good, bro. Like even if it's sad song or not, the lyrics don't necessarily matter all the time.
Some of the best songs,
just the vibe.
Bro, Colton, this man hated country music like months ago. Hated it. Couldn't stand. Like we're in the gym or something, and he's not controlling music. If country music is playing out loud, he's pissed.
Really? I was in Orlando and training at USTA. And I was working out in the gym, and there weren't too many people in there, but they were asking for some song suggestions, and I was like, wow, not everybody's gonna like this, but I think you gotta put some Toby Keith on in here. I mean, I was fired up. I was starting to hit some PRs, but not everybody else was.
And then I actually lost a set of headphones, and I didn't have anything for a while. And then where we worked out on Fridays was a country. Friday all day they play country in the gym. And I found myself like after a couple like maybe 45 minutes, like I was like bobbing my head, like swinging. I was like, do I like this shit? Like, am I just a hater? Like what? I had to have like a mirror moment with myself, looking up in the eyes, like maybe I'm just a hater, bro. Maybe it's just good music, and I just didn't want to like it because of whatever the aesthetic or whatever. I don't know.
I think everybody can kind of get behind Morgan Wallen and Zach Bryan a little bit and stuff, but once you start dipping into the Johnny Cash and those guys, then you know you're definitely getting into it.
All right. So obviously, Challenger final, Challenger title, but chose to go back to Arizona.
Yeah.
And I played a year at Arizona State, and I guess we were rivals. You wouldn't have been in school at the time.
Yeah.
I actually clinched against Arizona. That was fun at Arizona. But
that might have been one of the last times that we lost that.
I think since I left, it hasn't been the same. No, you guys have gone to a different level for sure. But the choice to go back to school, what went into that? And was it ever a question that you would not finish at school?
Not really. I mean, everybody else, or not everybody, but there were a lot of people that were asking and stuff, and so it was it was impossible not to think about it of what would that look like and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never really my intention to leave early. At least kind of throughout the summer and the fall, I always wanted to come back. I love it here so much, and to be able to, I'm so close to finishing. Just to have one more year to kind of leave my legacy and really try to help out the team as much as possible and put them in a good spot to start next year. Just I feel like I have a lot of pride in wearing the A and being here, and so it's kind of I'm still able to play pro tournaments and whatnot, and so I love that piece. But it's also one of those things where I want to stay here as much as possible. I don't love leaving to go play if I'm not playing with the team, but yeah, it's something that I'm still trying to hold on to.
Any NIL love sway your decision, or is it all just about the brotherhood and finishing strong?
No, I'm hearing about these guys getting these crazy deals. I'm like, what the heck?
Man's doing it for the love of the A, not for the love of the NIL.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah. Some of these deals, I'm like, that's ridiculous that they're getting paid that much and playing that few matches. But yeah, no, I mean, it's not about the money at all. To be here at school, it's about the love of the school and the team.
That's sick. Bro, how many pro tournaments can you play, or do you plan to play during the season?
It all depends kind of what I get into. I'll play San Diego next week. And then if there's any luck, hopefully trying to get a wild card into Indian Wells and maybe this Phoenix Challenger. We'll see how that goes. No, maybe 2 weeks out. And then there's another tournament in Mexico City, a challenger there, that I'll try to play, and really just trying to get myself in a spot where I'm into the French and Wimbledon without any worries there.
Sounds good.
So speaking about goals, what kind of guy are you? Are you very big on, let's say, achieving certain things, or are you kind of process oriented and you're looking at the day to day and what you're working on and kind of focusing on that?
I would say definitely process oriented. I feel like the more you start worrying about results and trying to get to a certain spot, then the second you start falling short of that, then you definitely start panicking and kind of looking around, seeing everybody else taking off. And that's never been something that I've really wanted to do, or it's always something that I've tried to stay away from, and really just kind of keeping my head down and trusting the process of like, all right, like if I keep putting in the work, keep doing these things, then the results will follow. And I mean, I feel like so far they have.
So I also saw on Instagram you post, at least the last days I've been following you post some Bible pictures or quotes and stuff. What is the story with you and your religion? How, let's say, strict are you with it, and kind of where did that come from for you?
Yeah, so I mean, it's always been in my family a little bit, but it wasn't really ever something that I was super committed to or anything like that until kind of 2 summers ago. I was always kind of in the middle of like, well, I'm not ruling out anything, but I'm also not committed to anything by any means. It was always kind of like, I guess I was looking for a sign a little bit, but then it was kind of one of those things where things kind of started lining up and events started taking place where it was like, all right, like, these things are not random by any means. Like there's a higher power putting these things in place. I wasn't sure why they were working out like that, but it's just kind of one of those things where I was able to come to it on my own. And so I feel very, very blessed that I've been able to kind of have my own personal relationship with God that's not influenced by the church or parents or family members or anything like that. It's something that I've been able to kind of find on my own and be able to explore myself. And so it's definitely one of those things too, where I'm not trying to put it in anybody's face or anything like that, because that wasn't the way that I found it by any means. But I mean, if people are asking questions and are curious about it, then I'm not opposed to kind of sharing how I came to it and kind of what it's been able to do for me.
And how does that fit into, let's say, your daily routine? Are you a man of prayer, like before, I guess when you wake up, before you play matches, like how does it fit into your day?
Yeah, so it's kind of first thing in the morning, I'll read a page or so from the Bible. Just kind of, right now I'm reading Romans, but I think I might kind of get to the point too where I'll just kind of open it up and start somewhere random, kind of see where that takes me.
Rome is a bit slow right now. Or what? The story is not picking up for you right
Yeah,
now.
a little bit.
Man, I find
Yeah.
reading the Bible to be difficult, bro. It's difficult to me to read the Bible.
It's definitely difficult. I mean, I remember the first time, kind of my freshman year, I had some people. They got me a Bible, and they're like, "All right, just like you start reading this and stuff." So I started from the very beginning, and I was like, "What the heck is this all about?" So it was definitely it was hard for me to kind of comprehend then, and it wasn't a time either where I was super committed to it either. But yeah, so it's kind of I had some good mentors that kind of helped me figure out where I needed to start, and then kind of from there figuring out kind of what was relevant to read at the time, and kind of what would mean a lot. And so yeah, and then at night, kind of before I go to bed too, just really reflecting on the day and kind of sending up a little prayer and just really being grateful for everything that I have. And that's kind of probably one of my favorite parts of the day too, is being able to reflect and just be grateful for everything that I've been given. And I think it definitely keeps me centered, and it's a good way to kind of look at the next day.
You find it easy to do when you're on the road and have different schedules and stuff? Because when I try to do like what you just said, I start at the beginning of the Bible, and it was easy for me to do when it was like preseason, not this past preseason, but the one before. It was easy for me to do and say like, okay, I'm going to read like a couple of pages before I go to sleep every night. So I did that for like 2-3 weeks. But then the minute I went on the road, like all of that got broken up, because now your schedule's a bit different. Now you don't know, like, you know, what time you play, what time you go get food, what you have to do before bed, what you have to do before the next morning. Like, and then all of a sudden, maybe that's like a flaw with me, that I am not able to be flexible and like say, okay, maybe I read a little bit earlier today. Maybe I read at a different time. It's like, I'm thinking I'm supposed to read before bed, and then all of a sudden I have so many things to do that I end up missing it, and I don't read, and all of a sudden I'm not traveling with the Bible anymore. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's why I feel like kind of reading first thing in the morning has kind of been best for me, because I could just set my alarm 10 minutes earlier than when I would normally wake up, and kind of get that taken care of. And I almost feel like it's a little bit easier to do on the road. I feel like times that I do struggle with it is if I'm stay up real late for whatever reason. They're probably homework. Yeah, homework's usually what it does.
Justin, homework, Justin.
Yeah.
But hey, team bonding, team bonding. You're doing some team bonding, brotherhood.
Yeah, team bonding. Lots of homework study sessions for sure.
Lotion,
so, yeah,
those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. And before you play matches, is there like any prayer like that you say, or are you praying for the win, or just for health and good performance, or you feel like God doesn't really care how you do on tennis court?
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like that's all kind of predetermined, and that's fate. Like, I don't pray for wins ever. I feel like I've been given way too much to ask for a win or anything like that. I just, all I really pray for, like the night before, is just to stay healthy and just have fun out there. Just kind of try to, like, definitely, we'll throw in some, like, hey, just like allow me to play well or something, just kind of put on a show. But yeah, definitely not really worrying about the wins too much. But there's some dual matches where it gets tight down to 3-3, where I'm praying for a couple big points for some of the guys here and there. But yeah, that's more out of desperation.
That's for them, not for you, you know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Any favorite verse from the Bible or no?
Nothing that I could name off the top of my head right now. But I would definitely say Psalms was probably one of my favorite parts of the Bible that I got to read. I felt like there was a lot of wisdom in there, and kind of a lot of things that I've been able to take from that.
I had a conversation with Taha Badi about religion last week. And I was telling him that, like, I feel guilty. He was asking me if I was religious, and I said, like, I don't really know how to answer that question, because do I believe in God? Yeah, I do. But then I told him, like, I do pray sometimes. Sorry?
I think the word for that is agnostic.
What do you mean? What's agnostic? What does that mean?
You believe in God, but you're not religious.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. But
I thought that was like where you were in between.
Let's Google.
Where you don't not believe in him, but you don't.
No,
Define
but
agnostic.
Maybe.
I'll
A
tell
person
you,
who
I'll
believes
tell
that
you why.
nothing is known or can be known of the existence of nature or of God or anything beyond material. For a person who claims neither. Oh, you're right.
Oh, well, that's cool.
But I guess okay. So back to what I was saying before I got interrupted by Justin.
Mhm.
But I was saying that he asked me if I pray and stuff. I was like, yeah, I do pray sometimes, but I feel weird because if I pray only when I need something,
Yeah.
and never when like something good happens, like something good happens in my life, and I'm not like laying down to sleep the night before, and I'm like, wow, thank you so much for letting this happen. So like, am I a hypocrite now that I'm only asking God for help when I need help, but I'm not thanking Him when He actually sends the help? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I just feel like a hypocrite, and I'm like, do I actually believe, or is it just like some hope? I'm just scratching for whatever, like just reaching for whatever help I can get, even if I don't believe. You know what I mean? So I don't know where to draw the line, like where, like if I believe or I don't believe, or how do I really like figure that out? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's all kind of personal preference and different things like that too. And I mean, I always feel guilty asking for stuff personally. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a great guy to ask about all
But
this
bro, it's
stuff,
like
but
I wanna ask him for help, but then I don't actually do like any of his missions. Like I live my life.
mm,
I try to be a good person, but it's like it's more like morals and how I was raised. But it's not like I'm not living my
hmm
life thinking about not sinning so I can go to heaven and have a good relationship with God, you know? So
yeah.
then like why would I sit down and ask the man for help when I'm not like living my life for him, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think kind of the biggest thing that I've taken from the Bible is just kind of just having faith and trusting God's word a little bit, and just kind of trusting in Jesus Christ. And really, I think the part that they mention in there too about Jesus has died for all of our sins. And so it's not necessarily like you could just go out and free will or anything like that, but it's kind of, I mean, God knows that we're going to sin, and He knows we're going to make mistakes and all that. But it's just kind of being able to have the faith that if you do believe in God, then there is a spot for you in heaven, and yeah, everything will be all right.
All right. Well, now it's time for my favorite part of this podcast is a segment brought to you by QUIZLET. We have a quiz, a competition here. We're gonna go first to 3 correct answers. I'm gonna ask a question. You can shout out the
Okay.
answer whenever you think you know it. If you answer and you're wrong, Jody can rebut. He can answer. He has a chance to answer. And then if you both get it wrong, you can both try one more time. And if you both wrong twice, go to the next question. First to 3 correct answers, and we have a winner after that. Question number 1
All right.
Anxiety
is
just fucking goes through the roof every time.
Does
question
the winner
number
get
1.
a butts up on the other one?
Oh my god. Sure, I
We can do
watch
that for next time you see each other. Yeah, and we videotape that. Good.
Wait, these
Deal.
aren't school questions, are they?
It could
There
be.
might be 1 or
It could
2
be
mixed in,
any kind of question.
but
All right, well,
today
if we do common sense, then I might be okay. But if we're doing,
Come on.
we're gonna start with some tennis. Here. Who am I? Career high number 4. One of the best backhands of all time. U.S. Open finalist, where he lost to Marin Cilic. From Japan.
Nishikori. What? Oh my
Yes. Kei Nishikori. Kei Nishikori.
oh wow,
god. What? I just throw that one out there. Wow.
We throw it out
That's
there.
This game is easy. This game is
I
too
can't
easy.
believe you said that before Japan.
This game is too easy.
Number 2. True or false?
Come on.
There is only one American man in the ATP top 10.
False.
True.
The answer is false. You have both
We got Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul in
and
there.
Tommy Paul. Number 9 in the world, Tommy Paul. Shout out TP. I'm going to come to the living room. I'm going to come to the living room.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
come to the living room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna do it from here. All right, fine. All right, hold on. Pull this chair.
All right. For the question of the week, number 3. 65 minus 35.
30. Yo. And I didn't cheat. And I didn't cheat because I already know the comments are going to be out here telling me that I'm cheating. I know the answers. I didn't cheat. I'm just like that.
I'm just like that.
I'm just like that.
He has never got math right on this podcast, not once. You're the first
I'm just
time.
glad I
That's
didn't throw my answer
crazy.
out there.
Yo, 2-1 Jody.
Oh, come on.
Question number 4. Among Alcaraz, Fonseca, and Sinner, who was the youngest at the time of their first ATP title?
Fonseca.
Out of those 3?
Oh, no.
I read it again.
Alcaraz.
You said Alcaraz?
Yeah.
He's correct. 2-2. Yo, this one is just a random trivia.
What?
This is just like, you all know it.
Give me something about fishing.
Which energy drink is said to give you wings?
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Colton, it's been a pleasure, brother. It's been a pleasure.
Was that not a tie?
It's been a pleasure.
Fudge.
Okay.
Might get a W.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Colton, thanks so much, bro, for coming. Yeah. Everybody, sorry about the back and forth at the end there. Obviously Justin is here because the Wi-Fi.
Leave my screen up as well, just the chair there. If it's there.
It's absolutely not there, but we had some Wi-Fi issues from Justin's side of the house.
Crazy. Same house.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, bro. I guess this is a pleasant surprise because it happens from time to time where we have a guest on, and not that I, expect anything necessarily, but I definitely did not expect this podcast to be the way it was. Like, you seem like a man of morals and values and stuff. So yeah, it was fun getting to know you, and we appreciate you spending time with us. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. I had a good time out here.
Thanks, bro.
Nothing he's saying.
Oh shit, Justin doesn't have on headphones.
Yo, but one love, peace, bro. Good luck the rest of the year, and keep killing it, dog. Respect.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
All right, bro,
it.
take it easy.